Welcome to This Explainer. I'm your host, and as an independent business services research analyst, my entire job is to break down digital business solutions so you can actually make informed decisions. Today, we're diving into a rigorous, strictly evidence-based review of a top-tier B2B design service over on Fiverr. We're looking at the Design a Timeless Logo service by a studio called Softriver, managed by Louis Key. We're going to strip away all the usual marketing fluff and look solely at the verifiable data to see if this gig truly holds up for corporate decision makers, agency partners, and entrepreneurs like you. Here is our agenda for today's executive briefing. We'll be walking through 6 key areas: introduction and overview, key features and benefits, transparency and credibility, ROI and potential risks, competitive positioning, and lastly, the final assessment. All right, let's jump right into Section 1. Introduction and overview. So who exactly is behind the screen here? The source material tells us this offering comes from a British-French graphic designer operating under the name Softriver. Now, if you're a business buyer looking for professional-grade services, you really want to see agency experience, right? Well, the data here explicitly highlights that Louis has 5 solid years working in a leading London-based logo agency. He's positioning this as a premium, industry-leading service for cutting-edge companies, with a massive focus on timeless, minimal, and highly professional branding. Let's talk numbers, because that's what always comes up first. The verified starting price for the service anchors at exactly $130. For that baseline investment, you get 1 design concept, a 2-day delivery turnaround, 2 revisions, and honestly, a surprisingly robust set of files. We're talking vector files, high-res formats, a 3D mockup, stationary designs, and even a social media kit. So right out of the gate, we have a very clear picture of what that initial financial commitment looks like for corporate procurement. Moving right along to Section 2, Key Features and Benefits. Let's look at how they actually get the work done. Based on the verifiable data from their gig description, the vendor's design process follows these 3 sequential steps. And honestly, in an era that is completely dominated by AI and instant digital generation, this is super refreshing. Louis and his co-designer explicitly state they start the old-fashioned way. They analyze your vision and literally sketch on a blank piece of paper with an actual pencil. Only after they've nailed down a winning concept do they transfer it to the computer for final rendering. This analog-to-digital workflow ensures you're getting original, thoughtful ideation before software ever even enters the chat. And that manual workflow stems directly from their 10-point manifesto. It's this really fascinating chain of logic. It starts with that classic design rule, less is more, and cascades all the way down to aesthetic is good. By declaring that bold is experimental and smart is communicative, they're signaling to clients that their minimalist style isn't just to look pretty, it's a strategic communication tool designed to make your audience actually think. Which brings us nicely to Section 3, Transparency and Credibility. Let's see if we can trust this vendor with our branding. Just look at that number. The data shows 13,236 reviews with an incredibly consistent average rating of 4.8 out of 5 stars. From a research analyst perspective, a sample size of over 13,000 makes that 4.8 rating statistically bulletproof. This isn't just some news seller who got lucky with their first few clients. This represents sustained, high-volume delivery over a long period of time. We can also check off several major trust signals that actively lower your risk as a buyer. They hold Fiverr Pro status, which means Fiverr's dedicated team actually handpicked and vetted them. They've got top-rated status too. And crucially for corporate buyers, there's a Fiverr Pro satisfaction guarantee explicitly stating refunds are available if you aren't happy. Plus, they offer communication in English, French, Russian, and Italian. If you're managing an international brand, that multilingual support is an absolute game changer. Check out this actual client feedback. A US-based medical business specifically praised the logo for feeling emotionally intelligent. When we're assessing digital services, this kind of qualitative feedback is gold. It tells us the vendor successfully bridges the gap between basic, pretty graphic design and actual strategic brand intelligence. Okay, let's pivot to Section 4, ROI and potential risks. We have to weigh the unknowns here. Because as an objective analyst, we have to ask the hard questions. What's the catch? What critical details are missing from the source material that could trip up a corporate buyer? We've seen the glossy manifesto and the massive review count, but where does the transparency actually break down? Well, mapping out the tiers reveals some glaring gaps. The premium package looks amazing. You step up to 3 concepts, VIP Zoom support, and a massive 20-page corporate identity file. But the exact cost?
totally undisclosed on the primary listing. We also have zero verifiable data on how many revisions are included in that premium tier or how long that 20-page document takes to actually deliver. If you're an operations manager trying to map out a budget and timeline, those undisclosed variables are a very tangible project management risk.
Next up, Section 5, Competitive Positioning. Who is this service really built for? The source material specifically recommends that if you already have an in-house designer, you should just grab the basic or standard packages. That is a brilliantly smart positioning strategy. It acknowledges that if you have a team, you really just need the raw conceptual spark and the vector files to take it across the finish line yourself. But if you have absolutely no in-house designer, they explicitly recommend the premium package so their team handles every single file you'll ever need. It proves the service is highly scalable, adapting to both a bootstrapped startup and a fully established enterprise.
And finally, Section 6, the final assessment. Let's summarize everything we've found. Here is the bottom line for the decision makers out there. The service boasts immense credibility. With over 13,000 reviews, pro vetting, and a highly logical pencil-to-pixel process, the quality and reliability are virtually undeniable. The multilingual support and satisfaction guarantee definitely de-risk the investment. But, and this is a big but, B2B buyers have to navigate those totally undisclosed parameters of the premium tiers. To use their highly recommended premium package, you actually have to initiate contact just to find out what it's going to cost you in time and money. So I'll leave you with this final thought for today's explainer. When you are the one managing corporate budgets, how will your business secure top-tier design talent when critical variables like premium pricing remain completely off the page? It's a calculated leap for sure, but given the overwhelming trust signals presented by Softriver, it just might be a leap worth taking. Thank you so much for joining me for this independent business review. Until next time, keep analyzing, keep optimizing, and stay focused on the data.